At this time, it is indeed my honor to introduce to you the 7th President of Haskell Indian Nations University, Fair Clan from the Prairie Band Potawatomi Nation, Dr. Venida S. Chenault.
Venida Chenault Desnacos, Koto Daniel wa Lawrence, Kansas Dida, Shkodani Bodawami Mida, Chiwan Moen Dabiadon Bodawami Mina Gigabo no Jiwan, Koshna de Jiwan Lo at Emnagishka Pugon. Hello, thank you all for coming. Wabkokwa is my Indian name. Venida Chenault is what I'm called. I am Bear Clan. I live in Lawrence, Kansas, and I am Prairie Band, Potawatomi, and Kickapoo. I bring you happiness from where the Potawatomi and Kickapoo people are, and I thank our Father, Creator, God, for this day. Thank you. I am a baby in the language, so I've got my language teacher that's going to correct me. We stand here today celebrating who we are, where we've been, and where we're going as we commemorate 130 years of Indian education and resilience as Indigenous people. I want to begin by expressing my great appreciation to everyone who has helped with organizing this event and everybody on this campus who works every day to make a difference in the lives of our students and to make this university shine. To the inauguration committee and all of your teams, I have been overwhelmed with emotion and pride at the work you've completed. Please stand and be recognized, all of you. To all of the tribes, the individuals, and the organizations that have sponsored this event and the events to follow, Iguian, for your generosity and your support of Haskell. Today, I stand before you as your 7th president, and I join prior presidents who have worked towards a vision of Haskell as the premier national intertribal university, which empowers our students to assume positions of leadership and service to our sovereign Indian nations. I carry forward a commitment to fulfill our mission and our sacred responsibility to serve the needs of our tribes and our nations. We truly are at a remarkable juncture in our history and are transitioning into a future in which the next generation of scholars, leaders, and visionaries will assume your place and your role in protecting the sovereignty, the self-determination, and the self-sufficiency of our tribes. Today, each of us here reaffirm our commitment to prepare our students for the work of nation building that must continue to ensure that we have the capacity to address the pressing social, legal, economic, cultural, and environmental issues confronting our nations and tribes, as well as our nation in general. Haskell is no longer the institution it was 130 years ago. No longer are children brought here to be stripped of their culture, but instead they come here to celebrate and learn from their culture. No longer are students removed from their families in order to be civilized. Instead, our students acquire the knowledge and skills to complete bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, associate degrees, doctorates, and law degrees. Today, our students are being prepared to build healthy and strong families, tribes, and organizations that have been devastated by the practices of the past. No longer are our traditional regalia destroyed upon our arrival. Instead, the president, my family, and our tribal representatives can walk into the auditorium at Haskell Indian Nations University wearing our regalia, speaking our language, and honoring our cultures without fear of punishment. Today, we remember the sacrifices that have been made for this opportunity for higher education, and we honor the visionary leadership of the past who crafted treaties in exchange of land for education and other services that still remain in place today. We also honor and remember the 103 students who did not return to their homelands and stand with those prayers offered for their release and healing of those who have suffered on this campus. We go forward from this point at this university, making a commitment that it will never be a site for the oppression of our tribal people again. Today, we begin working towards a different history that will be told in years to come. This new history will be based on the resilience and beauty of Indigenous people who have prevailed over the unthinkable, the beauty of who we are, and the commitment that we're making to end and reverse the damage that has been done and to promote healing among our many nations. A new history will be recalled in the future about the point in time when we all stood strong together in unity to truly put our minds together to create a system of higher education for the next generation of children and grandchildren and their children, which will rival all systems of education. Today, I call upon our alumni, our graduates, our committed friends and allies, and our colleagues in the tribal college system to work with us. Let's share capacity so that we can right the worlds that have been turned upside down by the policies of the past. Today, I issue a call to all of our tribal leaders and our political leaders that it is time to invest in our college and to build a capacity for the National Intertribal University that we call Haskell Indian Nations University. The last new building constructed on this campus was in 1994, Roe Cloud Hall. And it's time to invest new resources in a modern campus designed for the technology and needs of students today. We need a new science building that our friend Governor Brownback worked diligently to secure as Congressman Brownback. We need new dormitories and family housing. We have historic buildings built in another time and era who need renovation and foundation repairs that threaten the integrity of these spaces, including our library, Hiawatha Hall, and this historic and beautiful auditorium. We're not asking for handouts. We're working to find solutions to the challenges we face. Over the past several months, the Haskell Foundation has worked to establish the infrastructure required to manage donations for the university, and to move forward a campaign of giving, the Haskell Legacies and Future campaign. This campaign will include opportunities for our alumni to donate back to their alma mater and for our friends of Haskell to invest in this unique and historic institution by making a financial commitment to our university. I am here today as evidence that we can beat the odds, that we can reach our potential, that we can find healing, that protecting our children and our cultures is worth the fight, and that education can be a tool for making a change in our lives, in the lives of our family, in the lives of our children, in our tribes, and all of the organizations that we work with. Meaningful opportunities for youth, including summer work programs, and especially affordable, accessible, and equitable higher education is the solution to many of the challenges in our tribal communities that leave our young people feeling hopeless, that leave our young people feeling that the world is coming to an end, and filled with despair by the world that they see around them. Today, I ask for your support for education so that our kids, our families, and our communities can dream and hope and work towards positive social change once more. We know many of our students, just like many students in the mainstream institutions, have not been prepared for the rigors of college, and especially our first-generation college students who don't have family members to share advice on what do you need to do to navigate this thing called education. I was a first-generation college student, but because of my mother's ongoing encouragement, despite the poverty and the overwhelming odds she faced, she encouraged all of her children to get an education. In our family now, we have doctorates, a law degree, master's degrees, bachelor's degrees, and associate degrees, with 100% of her kids who attended college, and most of us all started at Haskell or have been to Haskell for a portion of that education. Education does improve our lives, and it does improve our opportunities for success in whatever way you measure it. We're doing things like expanding staffing in our Center for Student Success to meet the needs of our students and to provide them services to help them accomplish the success they aspire to. We want to support them in navigating this experience so that they do graduate and so that they can go back home. Our communities have been waiting for them, and it's our sacred responsibility to prepare those students. We're partnering with the Bureau of Indian Education to secure funding to provide an intensive summer bridge program as early as this summer to support the incoming freshmen, particularly in areas of math and English that put them at risk. We know that all is not well in this global society we live in, and this has an impact on the hopefulness for the future of our students. We are witness to a world in which violence is increasingly the norm and justice can seem like the exception. As educated and responsible adults, it is our responsibility to stand up for our young people as they navigate this world on their own. Disparate sentencing and incarceration rates, poverty and unemployment rates, and suicide rates within our communities must be replaced by graduation rates and degrees. A world in which sexualized images and stereotypes about our Indian women that are used to disrespect us, that are used to disparage us, are no longer acceptable. Those who promote college theme parties and dress in degrading costumes and behavior that supposedly depicts us as promiscuous people will not be tolerated. Those that engage in those actions are contributing to attacks on our women, through rape and sexual assaults of our grandmothers, our mothers, our aunts, our sisters, and daughters. The rates of violence and abuse against Indian women exceed the rate of any other group in the United States, and this behavior is unacceptable. We can no longer ignore or accept false apologies which promote the dehumanization of our women or our people. Neither will we support violence or abuse against our young women on this campus. Again, such behavior is not traditional in our cultures, and it will not be tolerated. Our commitment, first most, is to improving the quality of our education, the degrees we offer, and our graduation and retention rates. While we have recently been ranked number 4 on the current minority serving four-year colleges with the best graduation rates, we are raising the bar of expectation for each of our students and each of our employees on this campus. We can do better, and we will do better. To support our commitment to the use of data and evidence-based decision-making, we established this fall a new Center for Institutional Effectiveness. It is clear that Haskell, our university, needs a level of autonomy. We need continued support, and we need a new level of authority. Programs which are typically considered auxiliary must also have the autonomy and funding they need to operate as independent branches of the university. Our historic and storied athletic programs, with their rich tradition of success, need our support. If we are to be successful on the field, on the courts, and on the tracks, we must protect the future safety of our athletes, hold our athletes to high standards in order to improve our competitiveness. The establishment of a Haskell Intercollegiate Athletic Association will be made, and this committee or this association will be charged with designating commissioners to advance the mission of intercollegiate athletics and to raise the revenue that's needed to support high-quality competition and to return to our place in history. Much has been underway since January, and during this transition period as we work towards preparing for visits such as NCAPE, which we just completed yesterday. We're also finalizing our self-study for April and are making incredible strides because of the dedication and commitment of our employees to the success of this university. In closing, I want to thank each and every member of this campus for your kind words, your prayers, but especially your commitment to our students and Haskell Indian Nations University. I also want to thank all of our partners at the University of Kansas, in the Lawrence community, in Douglas County, to our Potawatomi Nation for their generous time and support, who are also committed to our success. I have been truly humbled and overwhelmed by the show of support for our university and my role here at Haskell, and I look forward to walking with you as we move forward. Igwin, thank you. Onward, Haskell.